I'm Chuck Marcourt.
And I'm John Barentine. And we want to bring you this video today to talk and extol the benefits of homeownership for you. Congratulations. If you are a current homeowner thinking about moving up in this market, or you're a tenant thinking about stepping into the market here in Los Angeles, California, this video is for you because what?
We're in a buyer's market.
We are in a buyer's market.
Now, John's been here since 1995, and I've been in real estate since 2010, and you've only seen three, maybe four, but definitely three buyer's markets, and they didn't last very long.
They don't last long. Typically, if you looked at it on a chart, you would see that a seller's market, which is when the market is hot, lasts for twice as long as the buyer's market when it is cool. And the problem with the buyer's market is that most of you, when it is your market, it's got your name on it, buyer's market. When it has your name on it, you don't feel good about buying because there are other underlying issues.
There's a reason it's a buyer's market.
Yes.
And it's because buyers are uneasy. They don't have a sense of security, and they're concerned about interest rates, or they're concerned about the stock market, or they're concerned about any number of things. And so they don't feel comfortable jumping into the market. And yet, this is the time.
This is the time when you have to have the gut to step out there and take advantage of the market before you. And I know it's uncomfortable. It is always uncomfortable when all of the barrage of news coming toward you makes you uneasy. But that's where the opportunity lies.
So there are so many reasons why buying a home, even when you're uncomfortable, even when you're not sure about the future, is going to serve you so very well.
So let's talk about some of those. We'll enumerate them. Wealth building. First of all, wealth building. When you look at the National Association of Realtors stats on the wealth of, this is nationwide, and in LA, it's magnified many times over. The average wealth of a person that has owned a home in the United States is somewhere around $400,000. The average wealth of a person that has been a tenant all their life is less than $40,000. That is a massive, massive discrepancy. And so for those of us that get caught in the comfort of just writing that check and feeling like, oh, I don't want to make the commitment, it comes at a huge price tag. It comes at a huge price tag, rent control or not. It comes with a huge price tag of opportunity cost. And so wealth building through real estate is what we're all about in this business, right? And so one way that we get to do that is that you're taking out a mortgage, typically 30 years, and you're paying down that principal. Lots of interest in the beginning, principal toward the end. That's the amortization chart. But you're paying down your mortgage over a period of time. And that comes with all kinds of benefits.
You also have, especially in LA, appreciation. Now, since 1970, in the prime market of LA, we've seen almost a doubling in the value of single-family homes every 11 years.
Yes.
You could practically count on your home doubling value, assuming, of course, that you keep it up and all that good stuff. I'm not talking about major renovations. I'm just talking keeping it up. Doubling in value every 11 years. That's spectacular.
Exactly. And so you can look at your home as a forced savings account, right? It's like another brokerage account. It is sitting there as you live in it. You can't live in your Wells Fargo account or your Morgan Stanley account or your Schwab account, but you can live in an asset that is appreciating for you. And that, to me, is a miracle. And here in Los Angeles, we have the luxury of living in an asset, as Chuck just said, that statistically doubles every 11 years. And that's hard to wrap your mind around.
So that's wealth building. Let's talk about all the incredible tax advantages that you get by owning a home as well.
The mortgage interest deduction is number one on that list. And the mortgage interest deduction is the amount of money that you get to write off every year because of the interest that you've paid on your loan. So in the beginning, that's heavy, and later on, there'll be fewer deductions for that, but it is an integral part of why people step out into the real estate market. And you can, once you look at it on a spreadsheet and you look at the overall savings of that, it makes that monthly payment much more digestible.
Now, I think we should take a moment just to recognize the fact that we're not tax experts. Do not take our word for it. Talk to your CPA, talk to your tax attorney, talk to the people who...
Your financial advisors.
Your financial advisors.
Absolutely.
They're going to tell you about what the rules in the moment are for you and your very specific circumstance.
And they change, and often.
And they change.
And with administrations.
We have the mortgage interest deduction. We also have SALT, or state and local tax exemptions from taxes. So let's talk about your SALT deductions. That's your state and local taxes, including your property taxes. Those can be deducted up to $10,000 from your income, which of course then gives you somewhere around $3,500 in tax savings as well.
So we're giving you reasons to step out in an uncomfortable world and look at the savings and minimize the discomfort and the blow of taking on that monthly payment. That's what this whole thing is about. The other portion of it is capital gains exemption. When you have owned a home and you've lived in it for the last 2 or 5 years, when you sell that home, the profit on your home, based, as Chuck says, on it doubling every 11 years, the deduction that you can take is $250,000 per person, right? Up to 2. That comes off the top before those capital gains taxes ever kick in. It is a massive savings and a benefit, and I will tell you there's a big push for that to be expanded through Congress.
National Association of Realtors is lobbying hard for that. And there may be a potential for other deductions as well. This is why you want to have a great relationship with your tax attorney, your CPA, the people who are giving you advice on how you can best take advantage of these tax savings.
There are other things that can be written off, like if there's a medical issue and you've got to alter the home. If you're working from home, you may have deductions. Place yourself in a tax benefit situation with your home ownership.
The other thing you get as a homeowner paying a mortgage is that you really have a hedge against inflation. So as a renter, you're not sure whether your rental is going to go up every year or not. You're not sure
whether you're covered by rent control or not.
With your own home ownership, assuming you have a fixed rate mortgage, you're going to have the same principal and interest payment every month from now until the end of that term. It could be 30 years from now. You can bet on what your expenses are going to be.
The other portion of that is that your home typically outpaces, especially again in the Los Angeles market, your home typically outpaces the level of inflation.
The other benefit of owning a home is you have multiple streams of income. You can rent a room, you can rent the entire home and have this income coming in, but you can also create an ADU or an accessory dwelling unit. The state has mandated that you are allowed to do it if you so choose. So the cities and the localities have to allow you to put in a guest house.
Exactly. The other thing to consider is the leverage of your money. So with a relatively small down payment, most people put down 20%. It does not have to be. There are programs, don't let that down payment stop you from applying. There are 3%, there's 1.5%, there are 5 and 10% loans. It depends on your price point and what you look like on paper. But let's talk about 20% down. Even at 20% down, for a small stake in the market, the amount of money you're leveraging that 20% down payment toward 100% of the appreciation that comes in. That's all yours. And so where else can you leverage that small amount of money for that greater return? It doesn't happen for you the same way in the stock market.
Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So what inspired us to make this video is the fact that we're in a buyer's market right now, and it's such a great time to talk about all these extraordinary benefits to home ownership.
So if you are a current homeowner and you're thinking about moving up, or whether you're a tenant and you've got on the golden handcuffs of rent control, there are so many reasons to step out into this uncomfortable market and take advantage of a market that is designed specifically for you.
And it only happens for a few times, for a short while, and it will be gone.